And I'm driving away thinking, I'm getting away with something here. You know, almost stopping. Are you sure?
Yep.
Along these roads we roam, we find adventure through traveling, camping, boondocking, and exploring.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vlogcast episode number 43. My name is Russ.
I'm Kerry.
And we are the roads we roam. We're a couple living full-time in our little guy, Max. We do this vlog 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, we have a Faces and Places video. Basically, we take the camera with us all week long, and you get to see what you've been hearing about us talk about on these daily vlogs through the lens of our camera. And then quite possibly my favorite one is our YouTube Lives, where we get the opportunity to talk with you guys live on YouTube. And that's Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and again Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Russ, unedited on Fridays and Sundays. Watch
Oh
out.
boy.
So we're reporting today from Hernando, Florida.
Yeah.
We came back to Russ's mom's house. We're mooch docking for another day or so.
Yeah, this is kind of our base camp while we're in Florida.
It's good to have those, you
Yeah.
know, in certain locations.
Well, you know, I mean, here's the good things about it. You know, one, it's free.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yes, that's awesome. That's the battle you and I fight the most. Not between each other, but the battle we fight against the elements on the road is Wi-Fi. I mean, just the other night when I did, what was it, episode number 40?
The Monday.
Yeah, the Monday one that got pushed over to Tuesday. That's because it took me 13 hours to upload that. We hit our max on our jetpack, and it just slows down to a crawl.
So we
You
have the
still get
unlimited
it.
plan,
Yeah.
but it will max out at a certain thing, and then it drops you, and it's incredibly slow to the point where our jetpack, which was fully charged when we started, just died.
So
in the
yeah,
middle of
when we're like at the beginning of our month with all that stuff, it's kind of like when I opened up the tank and it was unplugged, you know, whoosh. That's how it is. But man, once you get past your certain amount of gigabytes, it's like blink, blink.
Well,
blink.
that's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
so
we're at blink.
one of the definite advantages of
So,
being back
yeah.
with good Wi-Fi.
Good Wi-Fi, free laundry.
Food.
Yeah, food. And then also, you know, getting to take a shower and not have to worry about, oh, is my curtain closed all the way, or, you know.
Or did you leave the shower, the shampoo and the soap
Yeah,
back
I
in the
did that
showers
this week.
again?
Thankfully, because Carrie is reviewing the Saturday video, and she's like, oh, there's your soap and shampoo. I was like, darn it. Had to run back and go get it before somebody absconded with my soap and shampoo.
One of the good things about Russ trying to capture a lot of video of everything, he was trying to document the bathrooms at the campground that we were at, knowing that after he checked that nobody else was in there. That's important.
That's very important.
But he did a scan, and he's showing me this, and I see our shampoo and our soap sitting on the top, and I said, are those still there?
Yep.
Russ said,
Mad
I'll be
dash.
right back.
Yep.
I'll be right back. But, you know, we won't have as many of these opportunities out on the West Coast.
No.
So
Yeah.
we're kind of doing
Hey,
it now while we can.
You know, take advantage of it when you can. That's what I say.
Plus, your mom has buddies to watch Game of Thrones with now. We
yeah.
introduced her to Game of Thrones.
We got her
and
hooked on Game of Thrones. I mean,
She's-
hooked. Like, hooked, you know.
She even went out and bought us ice cream to sit down and watch her.
Alrighty.
So yesterday, before we left the campground, which I'm still kind of sad about because it was a fantastic campground.
Yeah, top 10. That video's coming up, guys. That video's coming up
Coleman
soon.
Landing. I got behind the wheel of the truck for the first time while it was attached to the trailer.
And here's the horrible part. She got in, and so I'm so kind of concerned and worried about making sure, you know, I've got an instructor, she's not going to be able to do this. And so I forgot to set the camera up. And sure enough, like butter. And
of
I'm
course,
like, oh,
he can't document that.
I'm sorry, I don't have it on camera. Let's do it again. So when we did it again, she came back in another direction.
Yeah.
You always want to back driver's side, because when you go passenger side and you're trying to back passenger side in, there's a lot of blind spots. So the first time she did it was driver's side, the second time was passenger side, and it was a lot more difficult. And me, I was of no help because I can make those calculations while I'm in the truck, but now I'm totally having to reverse it again. So it's like reverse it to because everything's backwards when you're backing, but then I've got to reverse it again in my mind when I'm behind you trying to tell you. So I was no help. But you did really good that first time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was scratching my head. I was like, oh my goodness, maybe she should have been doing this.
Either that or I learned a trick from you over the years that I realized, wait, if I'm too good at this, he's going to make me do it all the time. So maybe I should just mess it up.
That's why I'm horrible at laundry,
dishes.
washing dishes, painting.
See, I've noticed it. I've just been choosing to
Gotcha.
save it. That's why.
But no, long story short, you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Taking baby steps. You didn't drive too long.
No.
But baby steps. You know, the more comfortable you get in a controlled environment, once you get out in that not so sterile environment, it's going to be a lot easier and a lot less intimidating for you. So I was...
There's still a lot I'm nervous about, but if you suddenly, for whatever reason, couldn't, if you were feeling sick, let's say, and
Or I
you asked
stubbed
me,
my toe.
or if you stubbed your toe, because you're out if you stub your toe. Forget it.
Hey, turf toe's big. You see a lot of NFL players, they can't play because of turf toe.
Or hangnail.
Yeah.
Watch out, those dangerous hangnails.
But anyways, no, yeah, you're right. You know, we're slowly getting into it.
Yeah, and I would, if you need me to, I wouldn't be as nervous to get behind the wheel now.
Well, good.
And I will say that when I drove that little bit to get up there, you barely feel. I thought, I don't know what I thought. It's just...
Like it'd be like, chuckle, chuckle,
Yeah.
chuckle, chuckle.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole trailer's moving.
Yeah.
People are thinking, what's going on in there?
So anyway, I was surprised that I didn't really have as tough of a time as I was building it up to be.
Black Betty's a beast, man. She pulls Teddy along like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, I love that truck.
Yeah.
So as we were driving back, of course, always keeping our eyes out for really cool and interesting things along the way. We saw this
I actually
big
saw this
billboard.
one.
Yes, Russ saw it. And it said goat milk fudge. So we found...
I was just kidding. I was like, there's no way she's going to eat goat milk fudge.
I have to. There's a precedent that I've set here. So we, thankfully, it had a big parking lot, so we were able to pull in.
Not a
big
problem.
enough parking lot.
Yeah.
So we pulled into that really, really cute store. You walked in and they had the countertops filled with every confectionery, sugary thing you could think of.
Putting you on the spot here. Do you remember the name of it? We've got it on video, so it will be on Saturday's video, but can you pull it up right now out of your mind?
It had a web in it. That's
All
as
right.
close as I've got.
Well, that's closer than me because I don't have a clue.
It was green sign with yellow lettering.
Yes.
And it said web. And there was a Dunkin' Donuts
Yeah, they're right next to it.
right next to it.
Okay, so go on. I'm sorry.
So, sorry, that's probably not helpful at this point, but we will have it on our Saturday
Yep.
video. And I went in there and I found peanut butter, goat milk fudge, because the peanut butter fudge is my baseline, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
I was a little disappointed. I didn't like it.
See, that's funny because I typically don't like fudge. It's too, like, you bite into it and it's like granular. You can almost like the sugar crystals. I don't like that. And this one was a lot more creamy and not as sweet. I liked it. I didn't notice the aftertaste. I know you said that had a little bit of a
That's the thing.
aftertaste.
I didn't mind it when I first bit into it, and yes, it was much more dense and more creamy.
Yeah.
But then it had that sour type of aftertaste in your mouth. So normally when you eat fudge, you get that nice little sweet taste lingering.
Yeah.
This didn't have it.
Yeah.
So
So-
you definitely taste the goat milk. You notice the goat milk. in
Yeah,
it.
but I liked it. You know what's funny, guys, is we've got something that I found hilarious on the video. You know, when you were filming. So we're not going to go into that anymore. And I know you weren't even trying to do this, but
No.
the way it came across was so funny. I mean, you cracked me up. So that'll be in Saturday's video. I think
have
you guys
my
will.
moments
Yeah.
occasionally.
I think you guys will
out.
find that one funny.
So also along the road, I had something. Well, we experienced something that really, really irritated me. State of Florida highway system with your tolls.
Yeah.
So we have the iPass
Out of
transponder
Illinois.
Out of Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw that it's compatible with the Easy Pass. in Florida, which is a recent thing. Florida used to not be part of it, but as of December, it was. So I'm thinking, cool, we're all set. We get up to the first toll thing, and we had to pay cash. They said that it wasn't good.
So then we were like, okay, there it is.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Transponder's not going to work.
Right. We pull up to the next one.
After waiting in a huge line.
For like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the guy takes our money, and then he looks at something and he puts the money back to us, and he said, "You've got a transponder, go."
I'm like, what? And he's like, "You're a transponder." And I'm driving away thinking, I'm getting away with something here. You know, almost stopping. Are you sure?
Yep. And then we went to the next one, and we had to pay cash again.
So luckily, we always chose to go into the cash lanes.
Yes.
Don't need the popo, chasing us down.
No, we're getting these crazy bills. But
Yeah.
the thing that I found after researching is parts of Florida's highway system has the Easy Pass, which is now compatible with the iPass. But the Florida Turnpike is not part of that, only if you have the Sun Pass. And apparently where we were driving, it was off of one, onto another, off of one.
Yeah.
Really annoying, people. That's just my rant for the day.
All right.
But anyway, I think I was more stressed of the whole situation because we were just lucky we had enough cash on us.
Yeah, we
weren't
typically
planning on
don't
that.
carry cash. We're plastic kind of people.
Yeah, so we just didn't.
Yeah.
And luckily we had enough for everything we did.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we went and explored downtown Hernando, which is not a big town.
I don't know if it was downtown, but we explored parts of Hernando.
It's the biggest part I've seen. But anyway, they have this cool little farmer's market stand, which is open every day. It's
Yes.
not like just a weekend thing.
Yes.
Great fruits and vegetables and
Yep.
canned goods
Yep.
and things there. So we stopped by there. We bought a bunch of little goodies.
We got some tomatoes. We got some green beans.
Everything just looked amazing, which I'm not surprised because we're in Florida and I would just be gardening like crazy if I
They
owned
had that
property
little
out here.
section. Did you see it? That boo-boo section?
Yeah.
And it was just the not so pretty fruits and vegetables. Like, the Russ section. There's Russ section and there's a Kerry section. The all pretty and beautiful ones. And
You got the little ones. Yep, that's what they look like.
oh man, the podcast people are not going to pick that face up, and I'm sad that the people that are watching the video are going to see that because that had to look ugly. I apologize,
Well,
everybody.
it's motivation either way. If you don't want to see Russ, you can just listen in, or if you're listening in on the podcast, tune in to YouTube and check them out.
Yeah.
Then we had driven by the night before this place called the Burger Station.
Yes.
And they have an outdoor patio. It's right by the lake, which is Lake Hernando.
Yeah.
And we saw lots of people sitting outside with their dogs.
Yeah.
So anything that's dog friendly, we want to try to investigate and check out. So we went there at lunch today. We went there right as soon as they opened.
I was glad we did. And speaking of that, I was like, this place isn't open. And Carrie's like, yeah, it says it's open. I was like, look, there's not even a car. Like, no workers are here. This place isn't open. And then when we're walking up, I can't see anybody in.
And he was still ranting that nobody's here, nobody's here. I've learned in our 27 years of marriage to just be quiet, and I can silently prove I'm right by just not arguing with him and just keep walking forward.
I'm glad we
and
went there.
The food was just to die for.
Yeah, I got a Swiss mushroom burger that was fantastic. And whatever you got, that
I
looked
had chicken
amazing.
tacos, but what I was really impressed with, we placed our order inside, and when they brought our food out, they also bring little bowls of water for
Yeah.
the dogs. So not only do they say they're dog friendly, they are actually dog friendly and have things set up to, accommodate them.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Great little place. I would go back again.
They bought the building that's also across the street, which is right on the waterfront.
Yeah.
And I guess their plans are to open an additional extension of that restaurant.
Well,
over
no,
there.
it's a different restaurant.
Oh, a different type of restaurant.
Different type of restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the same group of people, their quality is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I highly suggest if you're ever in the Hernando area or passing through, want a dog-friendly place with great burgers and great chicken tacos, check out the Burger Station.
Now on to the topic for the day today.
Yep.
This came about because we've had several people, 3 knowledgeable people,
Yeah, and extremely knowledgeable people.
ask us a question about our weight the weight distribution hitch. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, you can't even say it once.
No, I can't. So I'm going to defer to you because you are the one that had the conversations with these people. And so maybe explain what they questioned about it.
Okay, so we have a weight distribution hitch, which are the bars and everything. We also have sway control. And 3 people now, one of them my good buddy back in El Paso,
who's an avid
RVer and has been for many, many years, saw a picture. I was like, hey, do I have this hooked up right? And he's like, yeah, but that is probably overkill. You probably don't need that with your truck. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm going to use it. Dealer gave it to me, I'm going to use it. Mm-hmm. And then another guy who was a repairman that we met in Savannah, Georgia, he questioned us. He says, I don't know if you really need that. That might be a little overkill for your rig. He says that little trailer there is not going to push down on your rig. And then just recently we ran into another gentleman who's been in the RV business for a very long time. He's been like a sales manager, a service manager, running campgrounds and stuff. And he even said, you guys probably don't need that. It's probably a little too much. But all 3 of them said, I would still run the sway bar.
Yep.
So it got us thinking, do we really need to do that? Because that's kind of a pain. That takes a lot of time. They're heavy, So we did a little bit of research and decided to share what we've learned with you guys.
So first off, what does a weight distribution hitch do?
So a weight distribution hitch basically takes the weight from the trailer and distributes it evenly across the trailer and the truck. So a lot of times if you've got a heavy trailer, it's going to do this. Push down on the back end of the truck. Those bars' job are to straighten everything out.
Okay. Simple enough?
Yeah.
And so when is it needed? And that's, I guess, at the root of our question. Do we need it?
Yeah, from all the reading I've done and the research, and this is just generally speaking. Now, there are like measurements and stuff like that, but generally speaking, you're going to need a weight distribution hitch when your trailer is at least 50% of your tow vehicle weight-wise. And then also, if you just put that trailer down on your truck and you see one of these things, boink, you probably need a weight distribution hitch. So those, generally speaking, in very newbie terms, because I can't go very technical because we're still learning this, but generally speaking, that's when you need weight distribution hitches.
That's what we've kind of found out. And were there myths about?
Yeah, one thing that I read was that there's a myth that weight distribution hitches are the Band-Aid for towing. They'll take care of all your problems. You need to have them, and if you don't have them, you're crazy for not using them.
And if I remember right, sometimes if you have them and you don't need them, they could actually cause some issues with your vehicle.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of issues. Just one of the things is that it is putting an extreme amount of pressure onto your vehicle as well as the frame of your trailer. So if you don't need them, you're putting all that force when you probably don't need it.
Well, and I was just, a thought just came into my head. Some people are towing trailers that are really close to the limits of what they should be towing anyway. And then if you're doing that weight distribution, that's putting even more pressure.
Well, no,
right?
See, that's one thing that I read.
No. Okay.
When you're towing a trailer that's very close to the weight of your trailer, you probably should. Yeah, no matter what, you probably should. There are a couple rare times when you shouldn't. Or when you want to tow the very maximum that your vehicle can tow, then you should be using them.
That's when you need it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I remember too that you said there were a couple manufacturers that specifically advise you not to do it.
Yeah, so you should probably check into this. I know we checked into GMC Chevy. I didn't see anything for our truck. However, I did see one Land Ranger said if you should not use a weight distribution hitch with any of our vehicles that have air suspension. Because it messes with that automatic air suspension stuff. And then Kia also had something that said, if you're using an approved Kia tow package, don't use a weight distribution hitch.
So then if you did use a weight distribution hitch with those, that could affect your warranty issues.
It could affect warranty, and it can also affect insurance. So if you're towing something and it says specifically that you shouldn't be using a weight distribution hitch, and you are,
And you have it.
the insurance companies find out about that, you better believe they're going to step away as quickly as possible and leave you footing the bill.
You know, one of the things that made me think about stuff, we have a GMC Sierra 1500. It's a 2014.
Yep.
And we have upgrades that make it look a little bit beefier.
Oh, great point. Great point. Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, because based off of what you said earlier, if it's more than half of what your gross vehicle weight
Yep.
is. The little guy Max looks really tiny when you're in an RV park with all these big,
Yeah, with all these behemoths around you.
but it's still substantial. It's bigger than what people, I think
Exactly.
it is.
Exactly.
And then likewise, our truck is beefier looking.
Yeah.
And I think people at first glance think we might have the 2500.
Yeah, well,
and we
you
have
know,
the 1500.
we've got that little raise. We've got a lift up front, and then we also have those bigger wheels and aggressive tires. So I think that's a great point that you make about that. You know, and I'm kind of backtracking here a little bit because you had asked a question about when you shouldn't have weight distribution hitches. You know, and in my readings, and this is something we haven't been doing, but we should probably look at doing.
Oh, that's
They're saying that with all that pressure that's put to straighten that out, you have to watch out when you're coming into driveways or areas with big dips, because think about it. What wants to happen is when that rear end lifts up,
it wants to level out.
it wants, you know, it's going against those bars, you know, so they're saying if you're coming into an area with a steep incline,
or those driveways that have those little, they call it spoon
yeah, exactly,
entryways.
you should consider releasing the tension on those. And a lot of people don't do it. You know, we weren't doing it because we didn't know any better.
No, and our driveway in El Paso when we first started out was on a slant and had the spoon, and
Yeah.
we were hooking all of that up before we took off. And
Yeah,
we probably
and pulling
shouldn't
in that
have
way.
until we got out.
Yeah. So, you know, those are things to think about. And some people that know that and aren't doing it are just, it's not easy taking those. Well, it's not simple. Like getting the sway control off, you do that all the time. How long does that take you?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Well, when you do the weight distribution hitch, you can't just get your chain brake there and
Pop
crank
them
it down, man, because that's going to come down with some serious force. You have to drop the jack, get tension off of those chains so you can do it safely, you know, and that takes, with our jack, you know, or most jacks, it takes several minutes to get it all the way down and then bring it all the way back up. So just things to think about, things that we didn't know ever existed, you know, and I'm kind of wondering, and again, this is just conjecture on my part, I don't know if that's causing the problem, but since we've been towing, we've had to get our tires rebalanced 3 times, and in the 3 years that we owned the truck before that,
Never had an
not
issue.
once. So I don't know. Maybe those tow bars are maybe it's just the tires. Who knows?
So one of the things that we talked about that we're going to do, and we recommend anybody else that has a question, take it to a qualified
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
For right now, we're still going to continue to use them
Yep.
until we can get them to maybe a service department where we can ask, you know, a qualified professional,
Yeah.
what do you think we should be doing?
Definitely don't take anything that we've said as, you know, as the word, you know, and follow
But
it.
there are things to definitely think about
Yeah.
and consider.
Yeah, I think it's very valuable information because it's questions and concerns and comments that we've run into not only once but several times on the road.
So even if you're out at a campground and people are asking you things, whether it's about your weight distribution hitch or any other things with your safety setup, always double check. And Google is not the absolute word. It can make you do a little bit of research to be a little more informed, but nothing replaces the qualified. Just like when you're sick and you Google it, you can have something from a cold to you've got 24 hours left to live type of thing, you know.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like WebMD can give you an idea or get you just paranoid enough, where a doctor can take care of stuff and you're not paranoid. You know, definitely do your research, but also talk to a professional, especially when it's something that's safety like this.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your questions, your comments, your tips, your concerns. We use those every Tuesday in our Q&A Tuesday, and sometimes your questions are so amazing and so insightful that we'll just create a show topic out of them.
A whole show.
Yeah, definitely. So please keep them coming. There's multiple ways that you can get a hold of us.
You can reach us at theroadsweroam.com. We're also on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and you can also catch any one of our vlogs on podcast via Spreaker or iTunes. So that's all for today. We are sweating like crazy.
Time to get that AC back on.
All right, talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.